Ladies and gentlemen, Sukhi Bart. Mulqaat. Enjoy. Mulqaat with Sukhi Bart.
Sat Sri Akal ji, welcome wherever you're listening to us in the world. Tonu sare badi pyar badi mohabbat badi Sat Sri Akal. And rather than sitting in the studio, I thought, why not go out and have a look around and get a fire, bring a fire into your home. So wherever you are, if you're feeling cold, and all you have to do is just sit by the TV and sort of just warm your hands up, because we've got a special fire for you there. Talk about colds. It's always difficult to see a doctor. So what I thought I'd do, I'd bring my very own doctor to your house. So please welcome, not just a doctor, but a great singer and a music man as well. Please welcome Dr. Subaig Singh Kandola. So Subaig, ji ayanu.
Thank you, Ji.
Lovely to see you. Thank you for taking my call.
You're very
I
welcome.
went to my doctor's surgery and they said, Mr. Bart, it's going to take you about 4 to 6 weeks before we can see you. So you know what, don't worry. Mera apna doctor hai. I'll come and see my own doctor.
One phone call and I'm here, look.
One calling
how
you there.
How many doctors do that?
I know. That's the service. You know, they all want the service now, won't they?
Yeah.
They all want that service. They want your number as well, won't they?
Yep.
The singing doctor.
Go
Could that be the new thing?
We'll put it on the ad as well, I think.
Yeah, the singing. I think we're quite good. You're back with the brand new track for us. Last time we met, we had a kind of quite in-depth chat as well.
Yeah.
And busy man.
Yep.
Busy man with the music side.
Yep.
And working as well. Now, sometimes people can say, doctor udda na rakhiya.
Haan
Hor bhi doctor hai ge. Jehde nahi doctor ho, maybe music the doctor, but you are actually professionally, in your profession, you are a doctor and you do look so big hello to all your patients. Are there any patients you want to see and say hello to them?
Hi, patients.
Vishoda, tell us, obviously your brand new track.
Yep.
Promoting it. I liked it, and I thought vocally you're getting better and better and better, and musically you're getting better as well.
Thank you.
Tell us about the track itself first, because I hear you took it to a couple of producers, and what kind of response did you get first, and then finally onto the operation table?
Yeah. Well, with Vishoda, it's another sad song. So it's my third sad song now. Obviously, this one's a bit different. It's sung from the perspective of the female.
Yeah.
My other ones were sung from the perspective of the male in the relationship. This one's sung from the female side. And basically, it's got a funny story behind it, because it's one that I almost gave up on. I took it to a couple of producers. Some producers turned it down. Some tried making music for it, but it wasn't to my satisfaction. And it was almost a concept which I'd kind of binned and just put to one side. I thought, chalo edi gal banni nahi hegi.
Right.
And I'd forgotten about it. Now, obviously, my other songs, Munda Sazarada, Nazara, Chute Nahi La Rahe, they're doing pretty well in India. My ads are coming up on the TV channels there. So I was getting a lot of interest from people in the industry, songwriters, music producers, and various people like that. And I got a message from some guys called King Beat, who are producers based in Kanna, not well known in India or in the UK particularly, but actually very talented, and they have actually released a lot of songs.
Oh, right.
But as you can imagine, in a place like India where it's on an industrial scale, it's easy to not have heard of
get
people.
lost in the whole,
you get lost in the whole thing,
industry.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Paji sonu mauka do, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਬਣਾਈਏ.
Yeah.
And I thought, chalo, I'll give it a try. I thought I'll give one of the songs which I thought I'd
giving up on it. Yeah. So you thought if anybody can see if they can make something of this.
Make something.
Okay.
That's what I thought. It was a bit of an experiment.
Yeah.
And I said to them, look, ਮੈਨੂੰ folk style ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ style ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਫਿਲਮੀ folk ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਉਹ style ਦਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੀਤ ਬਣਾਓ. No problem, ਭਾਜੀ, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ, we'll make it for you. They couldn't do enough for me.
Right.
And so I recorded my vocals, went down to Planet Studio, spent some time with Tom in Planet Studio, recorded a dummy vocal, and when it came back, I listened to it, I thought, bloody hell, this is good.
These guys are
really good. These guys are good,
Yeah.
And I was gobsmacked, to be honest with you. I was very, very surprised that they were able to do exactly what I asked them to do.
Right.
And so then obviously, they made the music, and there was a bit of toing and froing. I wanted some changes. And they sent it back to me. I recorded the final vocal. They mixed and mastered it there. And I thought this song's got something. For me, from my point of view, that song has got a bit of magic to it.
Yeah.
So I was really happy with it.
And Bob's your uncle, and there we are as well. I mean, the days of actually sort of sitting with the producer and talking the song over with the producer or vocals are gone, really, aren't they? Because as you said, you did the vocals here, sent them over to India, and before you know it, it was sort of done that way.
Yeah.
And then the video side of things comes in as well. But the song's written by, just remind me again.
Ladi Govindpuri.
Ladi Govindpuri as well.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. So what's that relationship there as with the lyricists? Because like you said, he's written all of them. So do you tend to take an idea to him and then you work on it, or does he come to you with an idea?
It's funny you say this, because everybody, go to different songwriters. don't
go to different songwriters. I think songwriters. It's just so vital, so important that they get the recognition.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is that every songwriter, when they write a song, they probably write with somebody in mind. And I think if Luddy's got a relationship with you, and you can chop and change whatever you want. Sorry, I disturbed you, but I was thinking, it's good that you have that working relationship with him.
No, see, with Luddy Paji, like, he's just, again, he's just very flexible, and he's a really good writer. Tate Punjabi, really solid lyrics. At the moment, there's a trend with the Punjabi lyrics; they're using English words in the chorus lines and things like that. Not my thing.
Right.
It's not the kind of thing I want to promote in my songs, in my music. Even though I'm not a native Punjabi speaker, it's still a second language for me. But for me, I want to promote Tate Punjabi, nice Punjabi poetry in the songs, and he can do that.
Right, and you go with that. So, do you have some input into the songs? Do you come with a hook line sometimes?
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'll give him a concept sometimes. Right. I'll give him a melody. I'll give him a tarja. Say, "Paji, ye tarja te kuch likho mere vaste." And I'll give him a bit of a brief. Sometimes he'll write me something. I'm say, "Paji, mainu ye nahi theek lagda hai. Thoda change kar do." We work together on it.
Yeah.
But the majority of the creative output is Luddy's.
Right,
on the lyrics.
But obviously he's done really well with all your songs as well.
Yeah.
I think because he writes them and you write with him, I think just your delivery becomes easier for you, I assume.
Yes.
Do you ever go back to him with words and say, "Paji, what does this word mean?" or anything like that?
Absolutely.
Because even in Vishora, there's quite, obviously Kikkara, Baruta, there's a couple of words in there. Thinking, wow, that's
Dungi loves again.
Yeah. So, what does it matter to you so much that you want to keep it Tate? Because obviously, as we say, the British Asians out there, or even the great singers in India actually are singing English mixed with Punjabi. Why is it so important for you to keep it Punjabi? Why do you want to do that?
For me, that's what I stand for.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not the best Punjabi speaker in the world. I can speak Punjabi, but for me, that's where I stand. I'll always stand by the Punjabi language. I'll always stand by the Punjabi culture, and it's always something I want to promote because मैं चाहना है कि ਆਪਾਂ अपनी मिट्टी नाल जुड़िए, and I want to bring back some of the beauty of our culture, which I feel like we're losing nowadays.
Right. Where's your love with folk music then? Where does that come from then? Is that from home? Is that what you grew up listening to, or why do you want to keep it folk in this day and age? Because obviously people will say, "Yaar, ye zyada ye bahut desi hai," as they say, "Ye chalna nahi," or whatever.
Yeah.
So where does that bit come from then?
I think it comes from inside. I think when I spoke to you last time, I explained how when I was at university, prior to going to university, I used to listen to everything. I used to sing a lot of Tom Jones covers, English songs, reggae. I was quite open. When I went to university, I think a lot of people start exploring who they are. Start asking who they are, and the question to ask is, "What's my music?" What's mine? Mera kiya, and it was through asking those sort of searching deep questions that I came to Punjabi folk, and I realised now this is where it's at. That this is my music.
And this is where I am. And this is where I am. This is what I want to do, and this is the path I want to follow. Yeah. When you sort of YouTube, a lot of your other life comes into.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't realize that you, apart from MMA, mixed martial arts, you were actually doing boxing as well.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll ask my producer to stick a bit of a Subaig thing in there. And I think there's a particular fight I was looking at against Jabbar Hussain.
That was my first MMA fight.
That was your first one.
Very first fight.
It didn't seem it was your first fight at all.
Yeah.
It seemed like you were a pro. You're a pro. I mean, yeah. Actually, I will get the producer. Actually, we'll see you in action.
Yeah, brilliant.
I mean, that part of life, and I remember last time we were saying that that's part of entertainment. You're entertaining, and you get that energy from once you finish fighting or whatever. How does that sort of mix into the music part of thing? And how do you bring the two worlds together?
Are we talking about the fighting world?
Yeah, the fighting world. And it's because it's an entertainment. That's what we were talking about last time. When you were saying, I suppose like Chris Eubanks was saying, when he was doing boxing, it's a profession, it's an entertainment. But how do you amalgamate the two? Because I believe him in Bindrakhe he was a Palwan as well before.
Was he?
Yeah, he did a bit of Palwani and stuff like that.
Wow, I didn't realise that.
And they say that sometimes Bhakti and Shakti kind of like go together. And you have to put your heart into and learn that. And I was just wondering, what kind of, do you still get that same sort of buzz, that adrenaline buzz as you did when you were a fighter, as you do when you're on stage performing a track?
I'm at the very beginning of my career.
Right.
I haven't started taking live gigs or tours yet.
Okay.
But when I was at university, I had a small dissy setup. We had a band called Barambor, and yeah, it's just amazing, isn't it? Just the buzz, of performing live. And yeah, there is a similar buzz between fighting and performing on a stage or performing on in theatre or any kind of performance. So there are similarities. Fighting is a different kind of buzz because of the fact that it's very primal. It's fight or flight. It's very sort of caveman-like. You're really kind of connected with some deep animal type of instincts. Yeah. So which you don't necessarily have when you're performing. Yeah. So there are some differences, but yes, like a lot of intelligent people out there have said that boxing or MMA, these are all these types of sports are actually less sports and more showbiz with blood.
Right.
That's the description that they've given.
But it didn't seem like showbiz to me. It seemed the real McCoy, no, right? It is a real McCoy.
Yeah.
And do you ever have
like reality TV, I suppose?
Yeah. All right. And do you ever get that nervous buzz when you used to go into the ring as well?
When I'm performing?
Yeah, in the ring. Yeah, when you were fighting.
When I was fighting in the ring, to be honest with you, I used to do a lot of mental preparation.
Right.
I used to do hypnosis. My dad is actually like a master hypnotist.
All right.
And he can sort of relax my mind and focus on my mind in various ways. And that's something that I used to do before I went into the ring. So when I used to go and fight in the ring, I used to feel like a tank, like I was invincible. That's how I used to go in. So I didn't really have nerves.
Wow.
And that's not like showing off or bragging.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there was some fear or some nerves somewhere. Mm-hmm. But the most dominant feeling I had at the time was one of being invincible and and just being up for it and ready for it.
You just can't be touched.
Yeah.
Is that the confidence side of it, or is that your dad's preparation side of it?
Both, bit of both.
Right.
I think the hypnosis and stuff, focusing on positive thoughts, positive imagery,
right.
was definitely from the hypnosis. And I think when you do something like fighting and even singing, you're bearing everything to the world.
Yeah.
And you're open to criticism, and you're just bearing yourself completely.
And is that challenge more or less the same sort of challenge when you're standing behind a mic? Because a lot of great singers tell me that when you're in that recording booth behind a mic, it's just you and the mic, and it can be quite a nerve-wracking experience. Do you use some of that focus, that positive thinking when you're behind the mic there as well?
Definitely. I mean, when I'm in the studio, recording in the studio, it can be a challenge.
Yeah.
The reason it's a challenge is because you end up recording the same line again and again and again.
Yeah.
It becomes almost like you're just doing take after take. So whereas if you're singing a full song and you had an audience, I'd find it easier because I could connect. I could look into people's eyes.
Okay.
I can bounce off the feedback.
Right, brilliant. I'm in conversation with the great Dr. Subaig Singh on the release of his brand new track, Vishora. He's got another track coming out, and lots more. We'll be back after this break.
Enjoy Mulqaat with Sukhi Bart. Enjoy Mulqaat with Sukhi Bart.
Welcome after the break. I'm in conversation with Dr. Subaig Singh Gondola, talking about his brand new track, Vishora, and obviously on the back of it, we've got some more tracks coming up as well, haven't we? Before we move on to the other tracks, tell us, obviously, Vishora, we've talked about the song, how and King Beats have done the music for it as well. Tell us more about the video side of things as well, because obviously we spoke last time. Do you ever, obviously the models that you make videos with and stuff, and do you take them for a coffee first? I mean, how do you break the ice as in the sense as well?
Yeah.
What's that process for that, for people looking at home possibly want to, follow in your footsteps?
Well, it's a really, really interesting point you raised, because when you're working with somebody on a set, for me, it's very important for there to be some kind of a connection, some kind of a chemistry. If you're just working off the bat and it's very artificial, sometimes that comes across on screen. And you've seen a lot of videos, you can tell that this relationship is not a real relationship. So as far as possible, I've always made every effort to try and get to know the model, do some rehearsals, and I always prefer to be over-prepared than to be under-prepared. Right. And certainly when I did Munda Sardarada, I worked with a girl called Selena, who's a professional Bollywood dancer, choreographer, and we rehearsed we spent a couple of months rehearsing, ready for this video. Right. In India, it's a little bit different. You see them on the day. and you don't really get to interact with them so much. It's not the done thing.
Okay.
The culture is not, you know, it's not aligned that way.
Right.
You know, they come, they're there to do a job.
Right. Okay.
They do the job.
So
and
they're
then
quite clinical in the.
Very clinical.
Oh, right. Okay.
And same with and the video directors are the same way with the girls and stuff. You know.
Right.
It's really surreal. It's a bit of a culture shock. They don't refer to the model by the name often. They'll just call her Kudi. Kudi ette aa, Kudi utte ja.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kudi and Munda.
Yeah. On Kudi da scene, and you know, and that sort of thing. You know.
So keeping to the tradition, like you like the tradition, so it's like kind of arranged marriage, turning up on the day and just seeing who it's going to be.
Well, in a sense, we did choose the models.
Okay.
When we went to India and we shot the videos this time around, Deep sent us a whole massive portfolio of models, and it was literally like looking on a menu, you know, like.
I think your mom's trying to give you a hint there, mate.
Yeah. Well, my mum actually chose the models.
All right. Okay.
She's actually the CEO of Mahavi Records.
Of course, yeah.
She's the boss.
Yeah.
So you know, she chooses outfits, chooses models, and chooses a lot of, you know, different
Right,
things. So
right.
I left it to her. I said, Mum, whichever one you like.
Oh right, okay. Oh right. Do you see a bit of real life playing out there as well, Mom? Whichever one you want, and she's going.
I don't think it'd happen in real life. No, only in TV.
Well, you're building up for a disappointment then, aren't you? Because she's thinking, well, I'm doing all this. This is how it's going to be. And my what the Subaig Singh is going to say, Mom, whatever you like, whoever you like, whatever you like. That's quite interesting. That because obviously I've spoken to a couple of people in the video and saying, oh yaar, you know, pehla kudi na scene karna, you know, unno hath laun nahi ji karda, because do you know what I mean? To break the ice. Obviously in Hollywood films and stuff, and they'll go out for dinner or something just to get to know the person. It's quite interesting that you are saying that is, when they're on the scene, they're quite clinical and they're quite professional in their professionalism as well. So how do you get rid of that shyness? I think that's what I'm trying to ask.
I'll be honest with you, I don't have that shyness.
Right.
I think the first time I did it, my first video is Chuteni Lare Nazra. I think I was a bit more shy back then. Now, obviously, we're 5-6 music videos down the line. So to be honest with you, I'm now completely comfortable with it. Yeah. You know, I was saying to my dad the other day, I said, Dad, you know, on the screen, give me, you know, scenes, romantic scenes, and stuff like that. And he goes, I just see it as acting. I just see it as performing. You know, I just see my son's there and he's performing.
It's a job.
And you know, exactly. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a job because that makes it sound boring. That makes it sound like I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a really good time. But it's performing.
It's a job that you really love.
It's a
really,
job,
really, really love.
Yeah.
It's a job.
I mean, let's face it. You know, who wouldn't enjoy doing romantic scenes with beautiful girls?
I was going to say, do you ever feel like, you know, maybe Mama, I could be really good singing. Maybe, you know how Laddi writes all my songs. Maybe I should have this girl in every video. You know, more your finger coming to that photo. Is that a possibility?
Well, you never know. Luckily, I've got some sensible people around me to make sure nothing like that happens.
That's good. I mean, Vishoda. Where was Vishoda? Where was the video shot of Vishoda actually?
Well, Vishoda again, it's got an interesting story. Yeah. We shot the video originally in the UK.
Oh right. Okay.
So we've got one version completely shot in the UK.
Yeah.
And Mum wasn't happy with that video. She just said, you know, we need to reshoot it.
Right.
You know, so that's why we ended up going to India.
Right.
I actually really liked that video. We ended up not speaking for a couple of days.
Oh, right.
We actually had a little fallout over it because I loved that video. Right. It was a very Western video, very dark, moody. You know, but it's not something which necessarily would have appealed to the Indian markets.
Right.
So we ended up going to India to reshoot. I
suppose you have to take that into consideration, right? That it appeals globally rather than sort of just what you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not sounding good.
No, I know.
You know, where to the botti comes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Macwana.
Yeah, exactly. You're just. So Mom's quite critical of work. Then does she ever? What about the song selection and stuff?
I select the songs. Let's say Mum has the final say.
Right.
You know, so with the Vishoda video, you know, she wasn't happy with things. She had the final say on it. Yeah. I was happy with the video. Yeah. We ended up arguing about it, but she had her way because she's the boss.
Well, yeah, she's Mum, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget the boss bit. She's Mum. Good luck with that. But we've also got another video to discuss as well. Atta.
Yeah.
Again, that's more of a beat song. Would you say that is that was that the idea behind that track? So tell us a little bit about that song and just what Atta means really, because you know it's kind of a very hardcore, dissy, tate word, isn't it?
Tate word, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, Atta, the word Atta, it's how do you translate a word like Atta? It means you know, it means you're killing it, you're smashing it. You know, you're amazing. You've hit the limit. Can be used in a positive context or in a negative context. You know,
Atta the end. Who's that? Is that another given Laddi song then?
Laddi did that song.
Laddi song as well. So tell us about Atta. Obviously, it's a different. you're busting out the moves.
Moves.
Actually, you showed the moves in Munda Sardar on that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Actually, we kind of skimmed over, but I did really enjoy that track as well.
Yeah.
And that's Popsy back on the music there as well.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit behind that Munda Sardar on that, because it was shot in a different. Obviously, it wasn't in India. It was more of a theatre type of sort of atmosphere to feel to it.
Yeah.
And I could actually, I could see you really kind of enjoying that, because you kind of like, you're actually moving.
Yeah, I think, exactly. Well, with Munda Sardar, because of popular demand, because of the current climates we're living in, and because of the fact that Punjabis love Bhangra and they love dancing, I thought, okay, I'm going to have to make some... You can't
be Punjabi and folk and no Bhangra.
And no Bhangra, you know. So, although it's a beat song, it's a Bhangra song, it's got a very, very old school retro feel, and it's got almost like a Muhammad Rafi-esque kind of a feel. You know, it sounds old school.
No more crying and Vishoda and that sort of stuff. But,
yeah.
But I suppose to the market that you're appealing to, that's what they want, though, doesn't it? They want that dardi kind of track from inside.
Yeah.
And with Vishoda, like you said, you sing it from a female's point of view. How do you do that? How do you kind of like sing from a female's point of view? Like, what kind of research are we doing on that?
Well, in all honesty, it's it's song. That's actually more the domain of the songwriter to be able to express that, and I've got to be able to feel that. So as a performer, I need to put that feeling into the words. In our culture, in our musical tradition, it's very common for a male to sing from the perspective of the female and from the male. That's not an issue or a big deal. So, you know, in light of that same sort of tradition, it was not an issue for me. You know, I was just singing the song. I was saying what needed to be said and putting and performing it and conveying it in the best way that I could.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so coming back to Art is out. Another video done. But little birdie tells me there's a film flying around somewhere, possible. You know, done the wrestling. I'm not saying it's true, but it's just I just hear these things. And when I'm asleep, I get these dreams. So they've done the wrestling, the boxing, the singing, the music. So is that true? Maybe is there an actor hiding in there somewhere as well? Then possibly.
Absolutely. You know, I love performing, love acting. Done it. You know, most of my life in one way, shape or form, whether it's acting in a music video or, you know, even fighting is an act. You know, you got to hide your emotions, you got to hide your feelings, you got to be somebody else for a short period of time. You know, when you're having a fight. So absolutely, it's always something I've been interested in, and now I've got an opportunity to have. So
it's true. So there is.
Yes.
So is it? Are we talking sort of Hindi, Punjabi, English, or what are we talking about?
This particular project is in English.
Oh, okay.
It's it's around a UK Punjabi kind of a concept.
All right.
I'm being very, very careful what I say because I don't want to give too much away about it. But certainly you'll be seeing me taking on some acting roles in the near future.
Oh, well, right, okay. Singing and acting maybe in the same industry as well.
Yeah.
It's always wonderful to speak to you, and I love the passion that you have for the music and for your culture and going forward as well. What about live? Because a lot of people will ask, are you on the road with live? Have you tried a bit of live singing, or what will happen? Is that your next step? To bring sort of go on the road with your music? Yeah,
absolutely. You know, within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start meeting some key people in the industry about start rehearsing with guys, start rehearsing with live bands and things. At the moment, I haven't done any live gigs. My focus has been purely on promoting my material, getting my name out there, and I'll continue to do that. It's going to take me, I think, maybe a year or 2 years to get the recognition and the name.
So that was a deliberate decision because you would want to go on the road with one song.
One song. I mean, the thing is the question that people so often ask is, are you getting any bookings? Are you getting any bookings? That's the question sometimes people ask.
Right.
And my answer to that is I've not tried to get any bookings.
Right.
And in reality, if my focus was just to get bookings, I don't think I'd spend as much money and as much time on releasing songs. Because this is about developing a brand, developing a name, becoming famous, becoming well known. If it was just about bookings, I could probably do it without releasing any songs. Because there are a lot of people out there who don't release songs, but they get a lot of bookings. Because of the way they market themselves, the way they advertise themselves. So my focus so far, up to date, has been to release songs, develop a brand, develop a name.
Right, and you're there, almost there?
I've still got a bit of a way to go.
Right.
I think it's an ongoing process, but now I will start taking steps towards taking bookings. Certainly now, I'm available for PAs. I can take some bookings now.
Right.
I'm happy if somebody got in touch with me and said, "Buddy, can you come and sing your song?" At a wedding, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Oh, right. Okay. So that phone,
but,
turn that phone on.
so yeah, I'm happy to take the call if I'm available. I'll certainly be happy to do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of doing it properly, doing it professionally with a live band, and gearing myself up for the world of gigging and touring, my goal is to be able to tour worldwide. I want to be able to tour and gig in India. I want to go to the US. I want to go to Canada. I'm not looking at it from a small level point of view.
Sure. What's the one key advice you would give somebody? What is it, that one thing that they need to have if they want to follow in your footsteps? Apart from money, obviously.
I think that it's very difficult for me to give advice at this stage because I'm still trying to work it all out myself. Right. The only thing I would say is it's best to be self-reliant as much as possible, and the more that you hang around and wait for other people to give you a break, you might end up wasting your whole life waiting for that break to come.
Right. And a very strong-minded mom.
Helps.
Subaig, thank you very much, but I know you wanted to thank a couple of people, and how can people get in touch with you as well? I mean,
absolutely.
The world, the TV is yours.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, wanted to thank Popsy. Popsy is the guy who got me into this line in the first place. His music is magnificent, and he's done a great job on art, which I'm really happy with. I'd like to thank my mum and manager, CEO of Mahavir Records, all my friends and family. There's so many people to name, everyone who's supporting me with my music. Please do get in touch. You can follow me on Facebook, Dr. Subaig Singh Kandola, on Twitter, Subaig_Singh. Look forward to hearing from you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And I want to seek some advice from the doctor as well. And we'll see you next time. Wherever we are, who knows. Doctor, यार मेरा सिर है ना, मैंने 3-4 दिन हो गए हैं ना, मेरा सिर बहुत